I hope you guys seen the Blade Runner film, the amazing sci-fi masterpiece in from 1982, directed by Ridley Scott. If you haven't, you better see it. Okay, you're going to be winning a lot of insights into the AI phenomenon, and it's a fabulous, fabulous masterpiece of a film. I don't want to talk about a film now, about a cast, about director, about the ideas, because we're not going to do any chess if I'm starting on it. By the way, recommending see it. Now, in that film, there is one particular scene in which the engineer that engineered the replicants plays a game, a correspondence chess game with the genetic designer J.F. Sebastian. And J.F. Sebastian was helped by an android, by a robot that developed self-awareness. So that's another topic for discussion, if AI can become really self-aware. Again, we're not going to be talking about this now. And the game that they were playing is actually the 1851 game played in between Adolf Anderssen and Kieseritzky in 1851, London, England. And I want to do that game with you, my friends, now. So it's a phenomenal King's Gambit, romantic era of chess. So let's go with this. E4, E5, and F4. There you go. By the way, nowadays, Jan Nepomniachtchi, I think, signed a course on Chessable about the King's Gambit. Nakamura played it. And give it a try. It's really super exciting. Maybe the most exciting opening for White here to be played. So he played the accepted King's Gambit, which means you take the pawn on F4, Bishop C4, the Bishop's Gambit. Of course, you could have played Knight F3. Normally goes on Knight F3 to preventing Queen from checking the White King via H4. So that's normally played here. But Bishop C4 is also a possibility. I think Vasily Ivanchuk also played successfully this particular variation with White. So just saying more stuff for you as I go along with the game. And there you go. Voila, the Queen checks. Now, I hope you're not going to play King E2 anytime soon. You're not going to gain this crazy bone cloud. It's just mad. Just don't play this. You're blocking your queen. It's awful. And I hope you will not play G3. You won't be doing G3 because F takes here on G3. You can't take back because I'm going to take your rook. You're going to play whatever, and I'm going to take the other. I mean, this guy is hanging, right? So F takes, then this guy is pinned, and it's just awful. Don't do that, okay? And you actually want to move the king here. So you're moving the king away and playing this fashion. Hopefully, if you're given a chance, you're going to play this kind of stuff. But Knight F3 first thing first, because you're going to be attacking the black queen with tempo. Then you're going to be pushing the D pawn. You're going to play Knight C3 and so forth. B5 now directly hits the bishop. Now, if you really want to maintain your bishop attacking the F7 square, you probably want to drop it on B3. Now, if you take, there's absolutely nothing wrong with this move. Just take on B5. It's fine. A pawn is a pawn, but that was just to deflecting you from attacking F7 in particular. Knight to F6 now, attacking this pawn on E4. Now, rather than reacting, knee-jerk reaction, go for defense and something, just always ask yourselves, can I create a bigger threat? And if you look at a position, you will notice that the black queen is on H4, and you can develop a piece of its starting square, attacking the black queen. Knight F3, queen must move. Queen's got to go now to safety, and now you're going to play something like D3, which is very good because it does, in principle, two main things here, my friends. It defends E4 and opens up the bishop to target F4 pawn. Okay, so that's amongst other things you need to understand here. You shouldn't be playing twice the same piece in the opening. So here, probably you need to explore C6, further attacking, maybe developing, stuff like that. We don't really want to play twice the same piece in the opening. But in this particular position here, Kieseritzky thought about threatening White with a move like Knight G3, which would be a check. And again, the pawn is sort of pinned because if you were to take, queen takes here. Then you have to move, and then I'm going to take the queen. So that was the intention for black, to play knight to H5 right on the rim. And now Anderssen plays knight to h4. The reason being very simply, they want to further attack the queen with knight f5. Queen moves to g5, attacking the knight, and knight to f5 being played now here. And he plays c6, attacking the bishop. g6 is also a possibility here, which will force this guy to move away. So g6 probably was not a bad idea to be considered. Now white continue with g4, a very sharp game. You can't take en passant because the bishop would take the queen. So, you know, you either move this guy away to safety or you try to create another threat here and moves the knight to safety. Double attack on g4. And very naturally, rook h to g1, defending now the g4 square. And they took the b5 bishop. And now if you say, wait a second, why exactly did I have to lose a minor piece? If you look at a position here, guys, you have an enormous attacking potential. The idea behind the king's gambit is that you sacrifice a pawn. In some crazy lines like Muzio gambit and something, you even give a minor piece. And look at this current position we reached together here. You will be attacking more than black. So a move like h4 hits the queen again. Okay, so now it looks like they are very limited in their moves. h5 hits them again. They got to go back, and now you play queen to f3. What does that mean? Queen to f3 simply provides the second defender for bishop takes f4 and attacking the queen, which, oops, can't move anywhere. Okay, so if you look at a position, now they play knight to g8. The reason being here, they want to move the queen to safety. So knight goes back on g8. Painful from this point of view because you just moved all the pieces back. I mean, all your pieces are back. Now bishop takes the f4 pawn with tempo. Queen must play now to safety. Goes on f6, probably wants to keep an eye on the b2 square, but boom, knight c3. And pause it for a second and look at the position and understand how white had developed all their minor pieces. So you've got 3 minor pieces all attacking. You got all sorts of prospects with pushing those guys and further attacking the queen. Lines opening. It's just so active from white's perspective, dominating the center, attacking, queen on an unfortunate square being targeted by the white pawns, by the white pieces, is just not very ideal to be playing in this fashion. Big advantage for white here. Bishop to c5, they developed the bishop, aiming the rook on g1, and now they were hoping that actually white's going to move, but they don't because they are creating a bigger threat. So another idea, my friends, when your opponent attacks one of your pieces, ask yourselves, can I attack something bigger than them? Okay, so if they attack your rook, ask yourself, can I attack their king? Or maybe can I attack their queen? That's exactly what Adolf Anderssen does here. Knight to d5 attacks the black queen on f6. They got to move, and now he goes for the b2. Fair enough. Cool stuff. Okay. Threatening. This guy is under threat, of course, and the g as well. And now he plays a move that is not the most rigorous, not the best both, but it's incredibly psychologically and emotionally charged. He played a move like bishop to d6, which is not the best move for white, because black now playing the correct combination, that is starting with queen takes a1. There will be a check, and then you have to play to move, and then queen goes back, and if this guy takes, then you're going to take. It will be a complicated but drawish position, survivable for black. And white actually loses the chances for win, because d4 was here the best move, or rook e or d1. So just save that important rook and place it on the d or e file. But he goes with bishop d6. Again, a very psychological, emotional move. That is what we call a psychological move in chess, guys, which may not be the most rigorous, but invites to an incredibly tactical scenario, very complicated. So now, instead of taking the rook on a1, which is by far the best move to play here, queen checking with tempo, king's got to move, then go back, revert back, attempt to take on c2 with further checks, he goes for the g1 rook, which is a mistake. And now actually black allows white to thrive and to attack from all direction, sacking another rook. So anyway, he pushes the pawn here, e4 to e5. And you would say, why on earth was that necessary? It was necessary because after a move like knight a6, notice how the queen can no longer moving along the diagonal. So e5 blocked the queen in defending g7. And after knight played on g7, king has to move. And now, guys, be ready for the brilliancy. And that was actually the scene that in the movie, if you watch the film Blade Runner, Roy Batty, the android, the replicant, was whispering to J.F. Sebastian. And I think he told him something like queen to bishop 6. And Eldon Tyrell, the engineer, the mastermind, said, oh, that's nonsense. What do you mean? I'm going to take your queen. And then the android said, bishop to king 7, checkmate. And that's just the checkmate. It's just fabulous. It's a brilliancy. It's a beautiful sacrifice. Again, everything stemmed from the psychological move, bishop to d6, with the brilliant queen sacrifice on f6, and bishop e7 just delivers the checkmate. This is considered the Immortal Game. Was a casual game in between Anderssen and Kieseritzky, played in 1851, London, England. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this one. Revisit the game, subscribe this channel, and go see the film if you haven't seen it yet. The music is phenomenal. I think it's Vangelis Papatanasio. You gotta see the film and enjoy this masterpiece. Thank you. See you soon.